Family, I need you to stay with me on this because now we are not talking about one opinion. We are talking about multiple professionals with training, credentials, and decades of experience, all pointing in the same direction. This is not social media speculation. This is not emotional reaction. This is expert analysis. Two separate professionals were brought in to examine the surveillance footage from Lowndes County High School, and what they found raises serious questions about the integrity of that evidence. Let's start with who these men are, because credentials matter. One of the experts, Doug Carner, is not just someone who looked at a video and gave an opinion. He is a certified audio and video forensic expert, board certified, trained in forensic video analysis, enhancement, authentication, and digital evidence processing. He has worked with law enforcement, testified in multiple courts across the country, and has been recognized as an expert in both state and federal cases. He is affiliated with professional organizations tied to forensic science, evidence analysis, and digital authentication. This is someone who understands how video evidence is supposed to be handled, preserved, and analyzed under strict forensic standards. The second expert, Paul C. King, is a professional videographer and editor with over 30 years of experience. Not only has he worked in television and media, including major networks and nationally recognized programming, but he also has extensive hands-on experience in how video is recorded, processed, and edited. He understands what natural, unaltered footage should look like, and more importantly, he knows what editing artifacts look like when they appear. So now you have two professionals from different angles of expertise, one from forensic authentication and one from real-world video production and editing. And both of them examined the footage tied to Kendrick Johnson's case. And family, what they said should concern every single one of us. Doug Carner's forensic analysis revealed that the video files were not in their original native format. That alone is a red flag, because original evidence should always be preserved exactly as it was recorded. Once it is altered, converted, or compressed, you lose critical information. Metadata is lost, file history becomes unclear, chain of custody becomes questionable. And that is exactly what he stated. There was an absence of supporting metadata, which made it impossible to determine what happened to the files, when it happened, or who handled them. He also found that the footage had been compressed in a lossy manner, meaning data was removed, details were stripped away, and the integrity of the footage was compromised. But he did not stop there. Through motion analysis and noise amplification testing, he identified patterns consistent with post-production manipulation, meaning this footage showed signs that it may have been altered after it was originally recorded. Now let's bring in Paul C. King. Because his findings did not contradict Carner, they supported and reinforced the same concerns. Through his review of the footage, he identified a critical issue. A specific video clip appeared in two different locations in the timeline, showing what appeared to be the same actions happening at different times. Family, that is not normal, and that is not how surveillance systems behave. That suggests duplication, insertion, or rearrangement of video segments. In other words, editing. He also stated, based on his experience and training, that what he observed did not happen as a result of mechanical malfunctioning. Let me say that clearly. Not a glitch, not a system error, not a malfunction. He pointed toward human involvement in the placement, arrangement, and appearance of those clips. And when you combine that with missing frames, inconsistencies in sequencing, and the lack of a complete and verifiable timeline, you are left with one unavoidable conclusion. This footage cannot be relied upon as a complete and accurate representation of what actually happened. Now, family, I need you to understand the weight of this, because these are not random voices. These are qualified professionals, one trained in forensic authentication, certified, tested, and used in courtrooms across this country. The other with decades of real-world experience in video production and editing. And both of them, independently, pointed to the same issue. Something is wrong with that video. Now think about what the Johnson family has endured. They did not just ask questions, they went out and found experts, they paid for analysis, they followed the legal process, they brought forward professional findings, and instead of those findings leading to deeper investigation, they were met with resistance, dismissal, and roadblocks. Imagine fighting for your child and bringing forward expert evidence only to have it minimized. Imagine knowing that trained professionals are telling you something is wrong and still being told everything is fine. That is not justice. That is obstruction of truth. Because when credible experts raise concerns about evidence, the response should be investigation, not silence. So, when we say let the evidence speak, we are not guessing. The evidence already spoke. Through experts, through analysis, through sworn statements. And what it said is simple: the footage. The very footage that should tell the story cannot be trusted as complete or untampered. And family, if the evidence cannot be trusted, then neither can the conclusions built on top of it. So again, we ask, who handled that footage? What was changed and why? Because until those questions are answered, justice for Kendrick Johnson is still waiting. We will not stop until justice is served.